Mike. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Tuesday, August the 24th, 2021. Hope you are all doing well. I'm Chris Phillips, host of the Daily Crow, the Spurs Up Show, as always. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a packed show today. Got a lot to get into. Very exciting show by the way today, as we will be tuned in at 1:15 to Shane Beamer's media availability that will be streamed live on YouTube. If you guys do remember from last year during football season, we actually watch the media availabilities within the week on the Tuesdays. Normally when they play media availabilities, we watch those. So I will actually have that playing 1:15. We'll watch that together. We'll probably take one or two breaks. I think probably just one break before then. Also have a very, very exciting new countdown video for all of you when we do take that break. Again, folks, thank you all so much for tuning in here on this Tuesday, August the 24th, 2021, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. That is where you can call, you can text. Again, would love to take your questions, your comments, and everything else here on this Tuesday. Let's see. I see Rob Youngson, Travie, Brian Dean, Doc, Sean O'Brien, Tanner Land, Ricky Land, Lindsey Hagler, Melissa Land. How many Lands do we have in here? Brendan M. Yes, no whiteboard. I just now noticed that as well. I think we might just go for the first half of the show with no whiteboard. Justin Warren. Sorry, it's been a crazy morning this morning, guys. We had South Carolina's rugby coach in the studio. We've also had some other things going on. So, again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Very excited for today's show. Got a lot to get into. Before we get into everything, I do want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they've represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. Guys are going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. Guys, you've been involved in any type of accident, the last thing you should be worried about is the paperwork and dealing with the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective, and let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in Somerville, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop. Their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. And, guys, that's our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. What's going on? 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, over to TDC Questions to be sure your questions are answered here on this Tuesday. And you know what? Brendan was right. No whiteboard. Let's grab the whiteboard real quick. I'm going to put this thing up. It feels empty without the whiteboard behind me, doesn't it? It feels strange. It feels strange. Let's see. We've got the whiteboard. We've got a new pen. We're good to go. Now we just need messaging. Now we just need something. Again, really excited about what we got today, guys. 1:15, we'll be tuned in to Shane Beamer's media availability. Really excited to hear what he has to say. A ton of players speaking today, including Amarian Brown, Zeb Noland. Obviously, we want to hear what he has to say. I'm really curious and intrigued to see what he has to say after, the last roller coaster of a week, 2 weeks, if you will, of what's going on in his life, and obviously joining the football team. I'll tell you this, folks. I would not be shocked if Shane Beamer named a starting quarterback today for game one. I wouldn't be shocked at all. I just think at this point, if you're Shane Beamer, why do you want to let it drag out? Why do you want to keep this thing going and keep people guessing and keep the people on your football team guessing? It would not surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Shane Beamer named a starting quarterback today. Because like I said, you've gone through the scrimmages now. You've gone through the scrimmages. You kind of know at this point. I feel like they have to have an idea of who the starter will be. We'll see. Who knows? But it would not shock me, is all I'm going to say. Let's see. I'm on the spot now. See, normally I remember to do the whiteboard. I don't know why I forgot to do it today. I'll be honest with you guys. We're moving 1,000 miles an hour with the Spurs Up show and everything going on. I actually just dropped on social media who our guest will be tomorrow at Tin Roof. Very excited to be joined by Brad Lawing, former Gamecocks defensive line coach. Of course, guys, we've had him on the show before. Fantastic convo. It's always a legendary conversation when I get to talk to Brad Lawing. So it's definitely one you are not going to want to miss. Streaming live also if you can't be there in person on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, just like here. You guys know the drill at this point. Let's see. We'll go with something simple today. So, again, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing well here on this Tuesday. Again, the second ever 2-hour Daily Crow. So, great day to have a day. That's it. Great day to have a day. Just like most days here on the Daily Crow, every day, actually, I should say on the Daily Crow, it is a great day to have a day. Indeed, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in. You know, I'm actually rocking a tank again today. I'll tell you a funny story. I'm actually rocking a tank again today. I mean, not that I need a reason to, but I was on Facebook and just was randomly, a comment came up, and there was a guy complaining about my choice of fashion, saying that why do you always wear tank tops? Why do you not wear shirts with sleeves? And I mean, I obviously do wear shirts with sleeves, but have you been to Columbia in August? Like, it's really hot. It's really, really hot. And also, we went down to the beach to have the opportunity to do that live show in a tank. I'm going to take advantage. So I figure, well, I might just start wearing a tank every day now, thanks to that guy. So I don't know. Either way, it is what it is. All in good fun. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, like I said, thank you all so much for tuning in. The second ever 2-hour Daily Crow. Like I said, guys, this is standard operating procedure from here on out. We will be live for 2 hours, 12 to 2, Monday through Friday. Again, today especially exciting because we will be tuned into Shane Beamer's press conference, which is set for 1:15. So very excited to hear what Coach Beamer has to say. I'm sure he's going to talk about the scrimmage over the weekend, everything going on right now within Gamecocks football, and maybe, just maybe, we're going to find out who the starting quarterback for South Carolina is going to be today. Again, also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions to be sure your question is answered. Again, that's TDC Questions in the Big Cock Club Discord. Let's see. Also have a very cool countdown video for you all with a special track from a Gamecock fan that was sent over to me last night that I will talk about a little more when I play it in about 45 minutes or so. Again, Brian Dean says, reading about Dak Joyner teaming up with former Gamecocks Langston Moore, Preston Thorne to promote children's literacy. Dak Joyner is a class act. Yeah. No, I saw that. I thought it was really, really cool. Obviously, I've had Langston on the show, trying to get Preston Thorne on the show. But what those guys are doing, obviously, for kids across the state and all over, and it's great. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing but a great thing, and so glad Dak Joyner can help and promote that for sure. Let's see. Doc Graybeard, wouldn't hurt to keep the DC of Eastern Illinois guessing. The team will know. Doc, if we need to keep the DC of Eastern Illinois guessing, then we have bigger issues than I thought already. I can tell you that right now. We should be able to tell Eastern Illinois exactly what play we are running and still execute it to perfection. I'm just saying. Somebody asked about how to join the Discord. Yes, well, that's the Big Cock Club. Head over to patreon.com/Big Cock Club. If you go to our social media and go to the Linktree link, you'll see Big Cock Club. If you join the Big Cock Club, you get exclusive access, or you get access to the exclusive Discord, if you will. And again, one of the benefits of it is that TDC Questions channel. Now, what does that TDC Questions channel get you? Well, like I said, guys, when we get in season, right, it's probably going to get very, very hectic. I know it's going to get hectic in the comments, the calls, everything else. It's going to be damn near impossible to answer every single question. So if you want to be sure that your question's answered, head over to TDC Questions in the Big Cock Club Discord. Those are first priority questions for the Daily Crow. Let's see. Justin Langford says the Coach Lawing interview was great a little while back. Ready to hear one of his stories. I mean, yeah, dude, Brad Lawing has stories on stories on stories. I mean, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Derek McLean, I miss Brad coaching at South Carolina, but I'm excited about the new D-line coach. Hope he can bring back some aggressive play style. Yeah, I mean, Coach Lawing was awesome. He is happily retired now. I can tell you all that. He is very, very happily retired. But, no, I mean, a legend in his own right, man. Just his resume speaks for itself. And, yeah, really excited to chat with him. I think Jimmy Lindsey's going to be really good. I mean, you know, Jimmy Lindsey, just let your creatures, as you call them, let them work. I mean, you've got immense talent up front. Get out of their way and let them chase the quarterback around, really. I mean, that's all you really have to do. Brandon Gaines says, run the Wildcat offense until week 2. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Just going out on a limb. Doc, I agree. I just want us to name the score. We need a home opener to be a blowout. I tell you what, man, that's something I'm worried about too, because, I mean, listen, we're going to beat EIU. There's no question. But I'm starting to worry about some fans that if we don't go out there and beat EIU by 50, we have some fans that are going to be very, very worried. I mean, literally, it started last night with our good friend Adam Ritter during the TSUS season simulation last night against Vandy. Ritter started asking me, putting in the question, well, what if we don't blow out EIU? You know, what if we don't? What if we don't blow out EIU? What then? It's like, how many? All right, I'll pose this question. How many points does South Carolina need to win by for you to? Because, again, you're not going to draw any conclusions after East Illinois, guys. You could go beat them by 70. You go beat them by 100. You're not drawing any conclusions after a win over Eastern Illinois. But how many points will it take for you to come out of week 1 feeling good about the start of the Shane Beamer era? See, Savannah Webster says 21 plus. I don't think a 21-point win is going to satisfy Gamecock fans. I just really don't. I really don't. Justin Langford says, I want to see some passing in the first 2 games before we go into SEC play. Certainly you want to see this offense, you know, got to start to find some playmakers on the outside. See, Donnie Walkoff says 20. I just don't think Gamecock fans are going to be happy with 21. Maybe you will, Donnie, and maybe you will, Savannah, but, man, I mean, if Carolina goes out there and wins 31-10, I think a lot of fans are going to be left wanting more. We'll put it that way. I think there's going to be a lot of fans left wanting more. So somebody texts in, says, I'm just happy for a win, period. It doesn't matter the score. Well, I can tell you that there's a lot of Gamecock fans. The score matters. The score matters. I mean, I'll even tell you for me, to be happy coming out of week 1, I think you need to win by 28 points. I think you need to. You need to establish your dominance over a lesser opponent. I think no question. Because EIU is that. You know, I know we say that and we throw that around every now and then in regards to, oh, you're playing this team from this division. You should beat them by this. They're a lesser opponent. It truly should be a name your score game for South Carolina. It really should. I mean, it really, really should. You know, Donnie Walkoff says, don't show anyone anything. Bare minimum offense. No one hurt. That'll please me. And I think even if you do that, Donnie, you can score 40. I really think just running the football, like your most basic run packages, I really think you can score 40 on them. I mean, again, I picked in the preseason 41-7, a 41-7 South Carolina win. I would be happy with that. I'm trying to keep expectations in week 1 realistic because, again, it's the first ever game of the Shane Beamer era. The first ever game with Satterfield and with everybody, right? It's the first game of this era, period. So, to act like South Carolina's going to come out there like a well-oiled machine, I think is a little unfair. I would love to see it, but I think it's a little unfair to expect it. But, yeah, we should expect South Carolina to dominate a lesser opponent, in my opinion. We really should. We really should. Jason says, they need to win by 10. Let's experiment with our offense to see what works and doesn't. More importantly, let's see how many points we hold them to. Let's jump over to the TDC Questions channel in the Big Cock Club Discord. Gamecock Rob says, Chris, hoping Juju can bring some semblance of Deebo Samuel in the return game. That would be huge. What are your thoughts? I mean, I hope he can too, but, I mean, we haven't even seen the kid. The kid's never taken a college snap. So is he going to be that guy? I mean, you can't predict that right now. I mean, you love hearing what you're hearing about him in fall camp, but yeah, now he's got to do it on the field. So Phil says, daily weather report for New Hampshire, 82 degrees and partly cloudy. He also says some of these fans might want to find another team. Not being happy with a win, what spoiled brats? It's the first game. If we win by 21 points, people will be upset. Give me a damn break. Phil, I would just say this. I hear what you're saying. A win's a win's a win, whatever. But if you I've heard a lot in the preseason, and I agree with it to an extent. I mean, if you have as much talent as people are preaching, if you have as much talent as people are saying in the preseason, you need to go dominate EIU. Like you do. Bottom line, you do. I'm not saying that I'm going to be upset and complaining if you win by 21. I'm not going to feel comfortable about the rest of the season. I can tell you that much. I'm not going to feel like we have some great team. Listen, this is a game you would certainly like to take advantage and get everyone onto the field. You know what I mean? You want to win in blowout fashion, not just for your fan base and for yourself, but for your players. Get everybody on the field. You know what I mean? I want to see Colton Gauthier. I want to see Jason Brown. I want to see Dak Joyner, God forbid. So, I think that you'd be doing yourself a lot of favors if you can get yourself out to a fairly big lead and get yourself in a position to do that. So, Justin Kyle, people forget Spurrier blew out UCF 24-15 in his first game at South Carolina. Justin, I would not compare that UCF team at all to Eastern Illinois. Get this, UCF also had one of the best coaches to ever do it in college football, RIP, by the way. Again, that UCF team actually had some talent. EIU, man, it should be just a complete domination. I'm not trying to set expectations too. I don't think I am. I truly don't think I am. I think it should be a pure domination, though. I think you should be able to control the game from the start, sort of a name your score type of game, if you will. I mean, like I said, guys, in the preseason, I picked the Gamecocks to win 41-7. I don't know that score will change much between now and next Friday when I lock in my score prediction for the game. But, yeah, South Carolina should be able to dominate. South Carolina should be able to dominate, in my opinion. So, Phil says, who do these people think they're supporting? Alabama, Ohio State? Some of these people need to take a long look at who they think they're pulling for. I understand that. I would just still say, bro, it's EIU. I mean, you should be able to push EIU around. I mean, really, you should. Joshua Jenkins says, SG1 has us 4-8, 1-7 in the SEC. I think we should prove them wrong. I mean, yeah, that's what I was trying to say yesterday, though, Joshua, is there are people that are picking South Carolina to go 4-8, believe it or not. A lot more that are picking Carolina to go 4-8 than 8-4. I can tell you that much. Savannah Webster, any news on Doty and Cam Smith? Well, Shane Beamer speaking to the media today at 1:15. We'll be watching it right here. I would imagine he will update both of their statuses going into week 1. Justin Kyle says, I know, but, bro, first game with new coach and scheme, I agree with dominating. I'm just ready for some dang football. I hear you. I agree. let's see. Hunter Herlong, our fans just don't understand. Our coaches are not going to throw the whole playbook at an opponent like EIU. Hunter Herlong, just to play devil's advocate, with all due respect, how do any of our fans know what our coaches are going to do? Our coaches have never coached a freaking game at the SEC level or the Power 5 level. So, Hunter Herlong, you don't know what the coaches are going to do. The coaches might run the whole freaking playbook. I mean, you have no idea. You know what I mean? You assume they won't, but who knows? Hey, Shane Beamer might want to go win by 70. He might want to set the tone in his first game. Like, you know what? We're going to go out there. We're going to run the score up. We're going to dominate. He might want to do that. So I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate, Hunter, we don't know. Like, you can't say what Shane Beamer is or is not going to do for certain. For certain. And here's the thing. I would just say this. There's no way to show the whole playbook in week 1 because, dadgummit, your starting quarterback's not even playing. QB1 is not even playing. So how are you going to show the whole playbook when QB1's not going to be on the field, most likely? So Keith in the TDC Questions channel, the Big Cock Club Discord, says, tell our players to put those damn crates up. The challenge for us should be going injury-free. Yeah. I don't know how many of our players, if any of them, were actually doing the crate challenge. I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm not the fun police. I don't care if our guys go and have a good time and cut up and kick it with one another. I don't really give a damn what our players do off the field. But just be smart. You're not, that I think that's the thing that, if you talk to Steven, he'd tell you. That's the thing a guy like Steven Garcia couldn't compute. It's like, hey, I know you want to go live the life of the average college student and just be crazy and act a fool, but you're not the average college student. And if you want to be, you can quit football, but you're not. You have a lot more to lose. You do. So I don't care what our guys do, man. Like, I questioned, or I went back and forth on even posting that video of the crate challenge. Like, I don't really want to start something just to start it, but I'm like, you know what? Whatever it is, what it is. But I don't care what our guys do. Just don't be stupid and get hurt. That's all I'm saying. Lance Player, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Donnie Walkoff says, how long has it been since we've said F Mike Bobo? Hashtag too long. Donnie, I'm glad you're in here. Donnie, what's the number one reason you hate Mike Bobo for? I'm curious. I've asked that question before here on the Daily Crow because I don't like Mike Bobo, but I also don't have like this burning hatred of him like some fans do. So I'm just curious, like, what are the reasons, like the main reasons that you despise Mike Bobo? Like, what if you had to list them? Like, what are the reasons? Is it a Helinski thing? Is it the way he walked out on South Carolina thing? Is it something else? I'm curious because I truly don't care about Mike Bobo, man. Like, I don't like him, but Mike Bobo doesn't ruin my day, if that makes sense. Travis says, still hopeful that Doty Dimes can be available week 1. Yeah, let's hope so. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Very exciting day today, guys. Like I said, 1:15. We will tune in. We will tune in live to Shane Beamer's media availability at 1:15 on YouTube. So, like I did in the fall last year, we will share that screen and watch that together. So it works out perfectly today with the 2-hour Daily Crow. We will all watch that together. Eric Fryer says Bobo equals Sling Blade. Old Sling Blade. Here we go. Man, a lot of comments on the Mike Bobo thing. A lot of comments. Let's see. Somebody said, kind of miss Bobo's cousin calling in. Yeah, Courtney Washington, what's going on? Tanner Land, I like Mike Bobo. He just schemed to our talent. Wow, Tanner going the other way. Says he liked Mike Bobo. Brandon Wagner says, reason is always Ryan Helinski. Donnie Walkoff says he went to Georgia. No, there's something more for you, Donnie. There's something more for you, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like there's something more for you. Doc Graybeard says, I just want to see crisp execution, few or no false starts, routes run sharp and on time, no injuries, of course, and touchdowns instead of field goals, things we had issues with last year. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Donnie said, that's all I need. All right, cool. I mean, Then do you hate Will Muschamp too? Because obviously those guys both went in there. Those guys both went there. So Travis says Phil Petty should call in and do Lou Holtz impressions. I'll tell you what, man. Phil Petty's Lou Holtz impression, incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, Sean O'Brien, some fans think he tried to run off Gunnar Stockton and try to pull him to Auburn once he got into the transfer portal. True or not, who knows? Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't like Mike Bobo. I'm always curious when fans, it's been like a year later and fans still just can't let it go. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't like Mike Bobo. All my homies hate Mike Bobo, whatever. It's going to be really fun when we play Auburn. That's all I know. It's going to be very, very, very fun. Doc says Bobo preached sticking with the team and left after Beamer went to bat for him to get a new contract. Waste of time and money. Courtney Washington on the flip side says Mike Bobo wasn't all that bad. He was only here for one season. Jordan Smith says, oh, here we go. We're going to get into this debate. The Ryan thing is overblown. If he was the best, he would have started. Same thing is going to happen at Northwestern. I wish the best for the guy. Yeah, me too. Me too. Tyler Knoll says, I'd love to see Doty week 1, but realistically, keeping him out and getting him ready for week 2, in my opinion, is the right thing to do. It gives the other guys more playing time and live reps, which are invaluable, especially with a group that is so unproven. Listen, I don't want Luke Doty to play. If Luke Doty's 110% ready to go, though, play him. Play him. He's a football player. He's on campus to play. So if he's ready to go, let him go. But I think realistically, again, if he's 90, 95%, they won't play him. I think with a sprain, too, it's better to err on the side of caution. But, again, I'd love to see him play. If he's healthy, let him go. But if I had to guess right now, I'd probably say he does not play week 1. So, yes, Donnie, I know it's on the merge. I was just curious because, again, I see people comment that, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm curious to hear why people hate him so much. Let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. Yep, Shane Beamer meeting with the media, players meeting as well. Players meeting with the media as well, including Zeb Noland, the new quarterback. I'll tell you, like I said, guys, it would not shock me at all to see Shane Beamer name a starter today. Would not shock me in the slightest if Shane Beamer named a starter today. Not at all. Not at all. So, it's so funny, man. I was looking, too, on Twitter. I tweeted like 6 days ago. I said, imagine if a guy who joined the roster 2.5 weeks ago actually started a game for South Carolina. And honestly, right now, I probably would predict that Zeb Noland is going to start. So it's wild how quickly things change. It truly is. It truly, truly is. Robbie Davis texts in, says, what's up, Chris? It's Robbie. Question 1, what do you think the odds are we see Joyner at quarterback this season? Question 2, of course, I think we should handle, I don't know, I think he says EIU. We should handle them. I'm not going into this game thinking we're going to kick the crap out of them. Are you because of the App State game and the Citadel game several years ago and my dad's surgery, as far as I know, went well? He's going to stay the night in the hospital. He's coming home tomorrow. How's your mom and brother doing? To quote the whiteboard, it's a great day to have a great day. Indeed. Great day to have a day. Indeed. No, everybody's doing well, Robbie. Appreciate you asking. Dak Joyner, I think, will be seen maybe here and there in some Wildcat stuff. I don't think it's going to be a ton. I don't think you're going to see him a ton. And, listen, I understand being hesitant on South Carolina beating anyone because of the Citadel and App State. And, dude, that's literally why I'm talking about East Carolina the way I am. But I still just look at EIU as like, man, if we can't blow out EIU, maybe that will be the thing that makes fans sit back and say, oh, we need to be realistic in year 1. Because, the fact we're even talking about this, of that, oh, man, let's just go win. If we win by 14, a win's a win. Like, no, we need to go dominate. We do. Phil in the TDC Questions channel on the Big Cock Club Discord says it's insane that a kid who's a GA joined the team 2 weeks ago might be starting. It's incredible and terrifying. Brendan M. also says, don't hate the idea of Zeb starting week 1, experience in the Power 5, plus arguably the best FCS program. Just wild how it worked out with him only joining the roster 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it is very, very head-scratching, I'll be honest with you. It's very head-scratching. It's a very interesting look. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to think of it, to be honest with you guys. I don't know what to think of it. It's wild. It's truly wild. Have you ever heard of a situation like it, you know? Ridge Alford, Kevin Harris, over, under, 200 yards rushing game 1. Under. A lot of running backs will touch the ball. Kevin Harris might not even play, dude. Kevin Harris might not even play. So, no, definitely under. John Kruger, Shane Beamer is speaking at 115. Eric Fryer says EJ Jenkins is going to be a beast. Yeah, 6'7.5". I mean, dude's got the build. I think especially in the red zone, he's going to be a fun guy to watch. Justin Kyle, you don't risk big injury to be your star. It should be over by half and backups in for the second half. I hope. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a game that should be literally like 24-3 at halftime. I mean, it should. It should. Call it for what it is. I know South Carolina's not a great team this year or anything. And, I mean, listen, I'm the one preaching patience and perspective and not setting unrealistic expectations. But South Carolina should whip Eastern Illinois' ass. Just call it for what it is. They should whoop that ass. So, Doc Graybeard says, Zeb starting may be the smartest decision. He's at least played some football recently. I heard he may be a bit of a gunslinger, so him starting against Eastern Illinois could be a good fit. I watched his film when he started for Iowa State against Oklahoma. Dude, and here's the thing. Again, I've said this once. I'll say it again. This is a fun conversation to have going in the first game, right? Or, in regards to a talking point. It's a very entertaining talking point, right, to go into the first game. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't care who starts week 1 because there's no quarterback battle. There's no quarterback competition. Luke Doty's this team's quarterback. So, like I said before, the only job for the guy or the guys that play against EIU, just don't mess it up. And so I think Marcus Satterfield and Shane Beamer, they might be looking at this saying, okay, who's least likely to mess it up? Truly. And the guy who is least likely to mess it up is the guy who's actually played in a Power 5 game before. So I get it. If they go with that, I get it. But it is still crazy. Joe Anders says, hopefully Appalachian whips ECU week 1 and takes the life out of them. On paper, South Carolina should be a matchup nightmare for ECU. Should be able to run all over the defense this season, but the program should progress in the future with Mike Houston there. He's a good coach. Yeah, Mike Houston actually beat South Carolina at the Citadel. So, I agree with you. The matchup that South Carolina has to take advantage is in the run game, the line of scrimmage. I mean, the Gamecocks should be able to run all over ECU, but I still think it is a very, very, very competitive game. I just do. I think on the road, I think it's a tricky game. I'd love to be wrong and South kind of blow them out, but I'm going into that game fully expecting a one-score game, to be totally honest with you. Now, Eric Fryer says OddsShark has South Carolina a 7-point favorite over EIU. Eric, there's no way that's right. I'm sorry, there's no way that's right. None. Is it a 7-point favorite in the first 5 minutes? Because there's no way that spread can be right. None. Zero. Negative a billion chance. I mean, I'm not a Vegas sharp or an expert, but there's no way that spread is right. None. Tennessee is a 32-point favorite over Bowling Green. So, Ryan Cothran, why is the perception Luke is so far out in front? He did not impress in the spring game. Ryan bringing up the spring game. Here we go. Okay, Ryan, well, I'd ask you this question, Ryan. Do you trust Shane Beamer or do you not? Let me lay that out there. Do you trust Shane Beamer or do you not? Because I can tell you this, you don't name a guy you're starting quarterback immediately following the spring game if you feel like it's a close competition. And I can tell you, Ryan, first things first, where did Luke Doty play bad in the spring game? What did Luke Doty that was poor in the spring game? Truly, genuinely tell me what he did. I think there are people out there that just don't like Luke Doty. They don't want to like him. They look at Jason Brown as that shiny new toy. Guys, we're close enough to kickoff where I can just be honest with you and blunt with you and tell you guys, from what I've heard, Jason Brown's not very good. I love the kid. I'm glad he's a Gamecock. But from what I've heard, realistically, Jason Brown is not pushing Luke Doty for the starting job. He's fighting for the QB2 job. Bottom line, I just don't get this spring game nonsense. Like, what did Luke Doty not do in the spring game? What did Luke Doty not do in the spring game? I just don't get it. Keith, it makes me wonder where we'd be without Neb. Are other guys just that bad? I mean, I think it's just a situation, man. We could go play with any of them and go beat EIU. We could. But you have a guy that has as much experience as Zeb Nolan does. I mean, listen, I don't know, Keith. I think it's crazy, too. I do. I think it's a little crazy. But here we are. And again, do you trust Shane Beamer or do you not? That's it. Hey, Beamer ball, all aboard the Shane train. Do you trust him or do you not? You got to make that decision, I guess, for yourself. I trust Shane Beamer till proven otherwise. I don't think Shane Beamer's going to make a move that's not, anything but a positive for the football team. So, let's see. We got a screenshot from oddshark.com. They have a predicted score. I mean, is that actually the spread they are giving? And I mean, I can just tell you this, Eric, if you can bet on that, bro, I'll bet my entire bank account on it right now. At the second we get off of this, I'm going to go look. If you can bet on it, I'll bet my entire account on it right now. I mean, you got to be joking. Come on. No, and listen to Ryan Cawthon, whoever. If you want to debate that Luke Doty's not going to be a great quarterback, or there's things you question about his game, don't like, that is totally fair, dude. Luke Doty's unproven. Luke Doty is unproven. Totally unproven, right? Played in 3 games last year, which I think you'd be foolish to judge Luke Doty off of that because it was a total dumpster fire. And all he's had is that spring game. So, I mean, if you want to question Luke Doty, I have no issues with that. But people are acting like that Jason Brown would be a better option because he threw 2 touchdowns in the spring game. Give me a break, bro. Give me a break. Like, come on. Like, how many times do we have to have this conversation? How many times? Doc Graybeard says Doty is the most natural talent at quarterback since Connor Shaw. That said, he has to prove he can lead the team and execute. Again, how many times do I have to say it? Luke Doty is this team's quarterback. From everything we've heard behind closed doors, Luke Doty is the leader of the football team. Luke Doty is the guy this football team is bought into. They don't look at anybody else other than Luke Doty as QB1. And I fully believe, and we can debate it if you like, but I fully believe that the best version of this offense, and in turn the best version of this football team, will come with Luke Doty at quarterback. Now, really quick side note, guys. The reason I've been promoting the Big Cock Club Discord and the TDC Questions channel is because I'm looking at the chat right now. There are 39 questions and or comments that are pending. So this is why you want to be in TDC Questions, to be sure that your questions answer, because we're not even in a game week yet. I mean, Joe Anders, it's not just, let's see, Joe says it's not just Beamer that thinks Doty should be the starter. People forget he was a top 80 player in his class. Predicted to be a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick by every major recruiting site. Yeah, I mean, we forget this guy's a top 100 recruit. Like, it's not like he sucks. Not like he sucks. And again, if you want to debate that Luke Doty, There are things you don't like about his game. Like, we can have that conversation. That's fine, because Luke Doty is not a proven commodity. He's not. Right? He's not. But who else on the roster should be the starting quarterback? If you're going to tell me Luke Doty shouldn't be the starter and you don't like this about his game and that, then tell me who should start. Tell me who should start, you know? Because the guys behind him are less proven than he is. And I'm sorry, but those 2 touchdown passes from Jason Brown, I didn't leave the spring game saying, I mean, this kid's just got elite arm talent, NFL arm talent, man. Like, bro, he threw a freaking pass to a 6'7" receiver that was being covered by a 5'9" white guy walk-on. Just call it for what it is. You know, any quarterback on the roster would have made that throw. And Luke Doty, I thought, in the spring game, I thought he made some really nice passes. Like, I thought he showed arm strength. I just don't understand where – I think people went into the spring game wanting to see Luke Doty create miracle. I don't know. They wanted to see Luke Doty do something insane to make them feel better about it. And it's like, it's the spring game. It is the spring game. Like I told you guys, if there was a real quarterback competition going into week 1, you don't name a starting quarterback immediately following the spring game. And you don't just continue to reinforce that and reinforce that and reinforce that and reinforce that over and over and over and over and over again. Right? So, you know, don't ever, I said this going in the spring game. Don't draw conclusions from the spring game. Not a very wise idea. You're going to set yourself up for disappointment. Don't do it. So, listen, I'm not, and I want to make it clear too, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm not pulling for one guy to win the job, right? I don't care who the starting quarterback is, guys. I don't care who the coach is, the quarterback is. I just want to win. So play the guy that gives you the best chance to win. So if it is Jason Brown, then play him. Play him. But I tell you what, if Shane Beamer came out at any point and said, we're going to start Jason Brown because we thought he looked really good in the spring game, I would question Shane Beamer's legitimacy as a head football coach. I really would. I really would. So, yeah. Courtney Washington says, my opinion, we may not even have the quarterback for our system on campus right now. Also says we're currently in the process of building our program to the image of the new coaching staff. Well, I mean, I think, you're seeing, or you've seen thus far, I mean, it could change, but, getting a guy like Braden Davis committed, I think it gives you an idea of what they want out of the quarterback position. I think they want a guy that's mobile. For sure. Right? I think they want a guy that's dual threat. Let's see. Somebody texts in, have to trust the coaches. The spring game's only for the fans. We got another text. Hashtag whoop that ass, new t-shirt idea. Oh, my goodness. Also says Eastern Illinois only won one game the past couple seasons. We should be able to execute anything on them. If Shane Beamer names QB1 today, who do you think will give us the best chance to win? I mean, I think we can win with all of them. Probably Zeb Nolan because he has experience. He's not gonna be under the bright lights at Willie B in Shane Beamer's first game ever in Columbia and be like, whoa, like he's done it before. He's played. You know what I mean? Maybe not quite on this stage, but he's played. That makes a difference. Also says, real questions. Can we trust our defense? Everyone seems to be concerned about the offense. Great question. Week 1, yes. Yes, no question. Week 1, yes. I think the secondary will be a work in progress. I think it'll be a deficiency till proven otherwise. I think your starting 11 on defense could be really good, especially your front 4, especially your front 7, I should say, your defensive line. I mean, I dropped my grade for them this morning. I gave them an A. How about this, though? Move into the defense because we could just talk quarterback all day. And we talked defensive line on yesterday's podcast. If you're not tuned in, episode 483, broke down the Gamecocks defensive line. Obviously, very fun to talk about that unit because of all the guys they have returning. And there's real NFL talent in that room, right? Arguably the best position unit on South Carolina's roster. But would you believe me if I told you that South Carolina, with that defensive front, allowed 194 yards per game rushing? That's bad. I mean, that's really, really, I think it was 13th in the SEC, guys. How does a defensive front with all that talent, how are they that bad at stopping the run? So, I gave them an A. I feel confident. That's a big question mark, though. You got to be able to stop you're not going to win many football games if you cannot stop the run. Hell, the average giving up 5 yards a carry. I mean, you're not going to beat anybody doing that. You're not. And I know the entire defense struggled, and I think they will improve in that mark, but, that's something to watch for early, I think. You got to be able to stop the run. Got to. Justin Martin, will South Carolina football improve this season under Shane Beamer? Yes. Short answer, yes. But again, as those have pointed out, right? As people have pointed out, just keep in mind, going 5-7 will be an improvement. Hell, going 4-8 will be an improvement. So, will South Carolina football improve? Yes, absolutely. The Gamecocks will improve. Absolutely, in all phases of the game. In all phases. But that doesn't mean they're going to win 8 games, right? So, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break at 12:50. By the way, I think 12:50 will be good. Got a brand new countdown video for you all. I'm very excited about. Got a super dope track on it too. I'm going to shout the guy out when it comes to time, but guy sent me a track last night. We got a countdown video made. Decided I'm just going to read off the ad read as normal. I think, what's crazy? It is not that hard for me to go 2 hours. Like, it's just really not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a lunatic. I don't know. It's not that hard for me to go 2 hours. It's really not. And on that note, let's talk about one of our partners, one of our sponsors. Of course, I'm talking about Carolina Ale House. Guys, I'm very excited because in the coming weeks, we will begin to promote our watch parties, our events at Carolina Ale House. We'll be putting on watch parties. We'll be doing live shows, pregame shows, postgame shows, all that good stuff. And again, Carolina Ale House has locations all across the state of South Carolina, from Columbia to Greenville to Summerville to Myrtle Beach. Wherever you are in the state, there is a Carolina Ale House there. Guys, they have over 60 TVs, so not a bad seat in the house. The best spot to watch a South Carolina football game or college football or NFL or any sporting event for that matter. They've also got over 40-plus beers on tap, so they can quench anyone's thirst. And guys, get this, not all locations have just 40. They vary from 40 to 72 taps. They've also got a delicious made-from-scratch menu, and their hours are 11 a.m. until midnight and 11 a.m. until 2 a.m. That's Thursday through Saturday during the week, closing at midnight. But again, guys, you're looking for a place to watch the game. There's no better spot than Carolina Ale House. Be sure to check out Carolina Ale House, guys, whatever location's nearest you. And again, like I said, very, very, very excited for our watch parties, our events, everything we've got going on this fall, man. Like I said, guys, the official announcements will be coming out very, very soon. But yeah, really excited to put on those events. And again, really spread the love to Gamecocks all over the state of South Carolina as we're going to be traveling. I mean, TSUS, we're going to be going on the road. Of course, we're going to be here at the Harbison location in Columbia a couple times, but getting to Greenville is a major priority for me. Getting to Myrtle Beach is a major priority. Summerville, I mean, all of them. So really looking forward to that. And again, I appreciate our friends over at Carolina Ale House for their love and support. Let's see. Another question or two, and then we'll take our 5-minute break here. Let's see. Brian Dean, Chris, who's slated to start in place of Rick Sandage? I don't think Rick Sandage was going to be a starter either way. I think it was Jabari Ellis and Zach Pickens up front. I think beyond them, though, without Rick Sandage, I think you're looking at Tonka Hemingway, certainly in one of those spots. And then I think you start looking at a guy, MJ Webb could slide in there. I think, who am I forgetting about? I literally dropped the depth chart yesterday. Dude, there's so many defensive linemen. I lose. Keem Green, Alex Huntley too. My bad. Keene Green, Alex Huntley, Tonka Hemingway, all those guys will fill in. And I think they'll do a good job. Thomas Walker, if you had to pick one home game to attend, which would it be? The first one. Honestly, I'd say the first one. I think September the 4th, 7 o'clock at Willie B is going to be a magical, magical night. I would not want to miss the beginning of the Shane Beamer era for anything. Justin Martin says, Chris, what kind of wings do you eat? Dude, I'm not picky, to be honest. I mean, I'll normally just get like a barbecue, maybe a honey mustard. Lemon pepper's good. Dude, I'll eat whatever. I mean, I don't like super, super, super hot. But outside of that, man, I love wings. I do love wings, and I'm not too crazy picky. Not too crazy. But I mean, just a good sweet barbecue. I'm down with that. I'm good with that. Also, but hey, a good dry rub. Oh my, dude, the wings at Rita's on Friday. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Doc Graybeard, better question. Who wins week 1, Georgia or Clemson? I think Georgia takes care of business. I'll put it that way. I think Georgia will take care of business. Just scrolling through these questions real quick. Trad, this kind of falls on the fault of Beamer and Satterfield for the lack of pass plays called in the spring game. If Doty had like 30-plus pass plays or something, people would see how he throw the ball. Well, Trad, I'll tell you this, man. I understand selfishly as fans, we want the coaches to tell us everything and show us exactly what we want to see and this, that, whatever. But I promise you, Shane Beamer was not going in the spring game say, well, let me make sure that Trad and all the rest of the fans know that Luke Doty can throw the ball. Let me make sure we throw it 50 times so nobody's worried about Luke Doty throwing the ball. That's not the way they approach it, bro. They're going in there to get their work in. They know what they need to know. They know enough to name Luke Doty the starting quarterback, and I think that's really all they give a damn about, Trad. So I hate to burst your bubble or anybody else, but the coaches don't say to themselves, well, let's make sure we show the right things and so we can make our fans feel all fuzzy inside and make them feel good. They don't care. And you can't coach that way. You can't coach that way. You just simply can't coach that way. Wow, Amarian Brown just said, quote, I think I'm the fastest in the country. Well, Amarian Brown, you better be damn wide receiver 1 then. So, you better be wide receiver 1. How about this? Zeb Nolan says the quarterback competition remains ongoing. Said when he cut the tape off following his final game at North Dakota State, he thought it would be the last time he was going to be in pads again. Quote, I lay down at night and think, holy cow, I'm putting on the pads again. Anyways, all right, cool. We'll have tons of I'll have all these quotes and stuff on social media, guys, later today. All right, cool. Like I said, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break now. I want to give a shout-out to this guy that sent over the track. Incredible stuff. Just hit me up randomly, by the way. Just hit me up randomly. And it is our good friend of the show, fan of the show, Bob Chapman, a.k.a. DJ Gamecock. And this is like an unreleased track. Again, appreciate him. Very, very exciting stuff. Again, Bob Chapman, DJ Gamecock. He's a 1981 USC Broadcasting and Media Arts graduate. Was on the air the very first day of WUSC. Switched over to FM in January 1977. Elected as the WUSC FM Chief Announcer and Program Director. He's in the WUSC Hall of Fame. How about that? And 2021 is his 50th anniversary as a DJ. His first DJ gig was Kings Grant Teen Club in Somerville, South Carolina, back in 1971. So again, thank you, Bob Chapman, DJ Gamecock, for the track on this 5-minute break. Again, guys, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Again, you're tuned in to the Daily Crow. Yo, all right, that was cool. That was very cool. That was very, very cool. Yes, appreciate DJ Gamecock. Thank you again for sending that over last night. Was very random. He just sent it over to me. Obviously on yesterday's show, I was saying that, we needed some sort of countdown video, or I wasn't sure if I was going to do like ad reads or whatever it might have been, but DJ Gamecock coming up in the clutch for us, sending that over. And again, thank you, DJ Gamecock. Really, really, really good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So that'll probably be our 5-minute break each and every single day. We might play that 2 or 3 times during the course of over the course of these shows. It just kind of depends on what's going on. Obviously today with Shane Beamer at 1:15, we don't have to do that. But, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, let's get back to your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377 as we jump into hour 2 now. 843-790-3377. Justin Martin says, will Texas A&M take down Alabama this season? If Texas A&M wants to win the SEC West this year, yeah, they're probably going to have to beat Alabama. It depends. It depends on if Texas A&M solves the question that is their quarterback position. They'll have to solve the question that is their quarterback position. That is number one. Phil in the TDC questions channel of the Big Cock Club Discord says, I'm ready to take some Molly with Garcia and get weird while listening to this. Phil, I'm glad you enjoyed it, my friend. Again, hour 2. Folks, appreciate you all tuning in. In case you missed it, somehow you were living under a rock, the Daily Crow is now Monday through Friday, noon to 2. So 2 hours each and every single day, guys. Like I said, Shane Beamer set to go live in his press conference in about 15 minutes or so. I'll be sharing my screen. We'll have that. We'll be watching that together, covering that, taking that all in live as well. Let's see. Doc Graybeard, I'm impressed. Either team agreed to the matchup right out of the gate. Speaking on Georgia, Clemson, a loss for Clemson could derail their playoff hopes right at the bat. Georgia can survive the loss if they win out. I hate to say it, man. I think both of them can make the playoff, even if they lose. Unless I'll tell you this, unless. Okay, sorry, guys. Yeah, I mean, unless it's a blowout one way or another, I think both could probably still make the playoff, unfortunately. Ernest Harrison, appreciate you tuning in. He says, what do you make of this alliance stuff between the 3 conferences? Dude, college football is just, and I would ask, I guess I would ask all of you, because I know Phil brings it up. Does it make college football more or less likable to you? Does it make it more or less likable? I mean, I just look at it as, I don't really know. I really don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. College football is ever changing, and whether we like it or not, man, it's changing. Bottom line, it is changing. So buckle up. That's all you can do if you're South Carolina. Just worry about what you can control. Also, it's sounding like Oklahoma and Texas will be in the SEC next year, by next season. So it's not going to be some 4-year, 5-year thing. They're going to join the SEC next season is what it's sounding like. So, yeah, just buckle up, man. If you don't like it, I guess that's just too bad, because this thing is moving. This thing is moving. That is for sure. Darius Rush on Clayton White's defensive philosophy. He says, you never know what to expect. I love playing in this defense. Here we go. So, guys, speaking to the media right now. Guys are speaking to the media right now. Shane Beamer set for 1:15. Like I said, guys, we'll be watching that live together. I was just thinking about this too, by the way, guys. Do you all remember the live stream watch-alongs for baseball season? Do you guys remember those? And I'm sure many of you tune into this do. Should we or should we not bring the live stream watch-alongs back for football season? For the road games, not for home games. I'll be in the stadium for home games. But for road games, since we're going to be at Carolina Ale House, wouldn't be a bad idea. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Would love to hear you guys' feedback on that. Could take questions, break down the game in-game. It could also get very, very ugly if things don't go well. It could also get very ugly if things don't go well. But yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. What do you guys think? I think the live stream watch-alongs have a lot of potential during football season. A lot of potential. How would you guys feel about watching South Carolina football on one TV and then having yours truly on your phone or a laptop or whatever else? I thought the baseball ones were great. I thought it was a major success. Now, what we couldn't do, we couldn't obviously show the game. We couldn't show the game in the background or anything because literally YouTube will rip the stream. They'll rip it off. Because obviously it's not video that we own. But, just get a view of yours truly and, in-game thoughts and analysis and all that good stuff. I don't know. I think it could be fun. Scott Stamey, what's up? Appreciate you tuning in. What's up, Scott? Phil and Brendan M. both in the TDC Questions channel in the Big Cock Club Discord say bring the watch-alongs back. So we might do it. We got a couple of weeks. We got a couple of weeks until the first road game, but it's not far off at all, man. It's not far off at all. What'll be 11 days until EIU, so we're only 18 days away from the first road game. So a lot of moving pieces right now, guys, getting everything figured out in regards to, the tailgate and everything, what time the pregame show is going to be for that, also the road games. Also, quick reminder, if you're around the city, you're going to be coming through the city, you want to come to the city, whatever, tomorrow night at Tin Roof. We will be live at Tin Roof yet again, as we are each and every single Wednesday. Former Gamecocks defensive lineman Brad Lawing will be joining me. Just one guest tomorrow, by the way, and I actually did that on purpose because I kind of felt like the last couple of shows, I love having the guests, obviously really cool getting them in, but with two guests, wasn't really able to get to any of you guys' questions or take questions from the crowd or really just kind of have open-ended banter, if you will. So I most certainly want to bring that back. So having one guest, I think Brad will join us like 5:15 to 6 or so, and we'll probably use that second hour. We'll probably use that second hour to take questions and take calls and all that good stuff. Scott Stamey, what was your question? Here we go. What's Brown running? I don't know exactly what his 40 is. He says he believes he's the fastest. Doesn't mean he is, but he's very fast for sure. Yeah, I don't know exactly what his 40 is, but I think he's a 4.4, close to a 4.3 guy. He's very fast. So, Tyler Knoll says, I think Clemson beats Georgia. I hate to say that, but Clemson's offense is good. They have a lot of weapons. Georgia doesn't have their wide receiver one either. Pickens is out for the year. Just me, though. Yeah, Scott Stamey, I'm not 110% sure what Amarian Brown's 40 is. It's fast. It's very fast. I'll put it that way. It's very, very fast. So. Again, guys, Shane Beamer's media availability coming up in less than 10 minutes. And we will watch that together here live. But yeah, I'm thinking live stream watch-alongs could definitely be a thing during football season. I'll let you guys know. Like I said, man, a lot of moving pieces. And, we'll set the plans for that, of course. But I could definitely see that being a thing. No question. No question. Let's see. Jay Morris, ready to try the milk crate challenge. No, I'm good. I'll pass. Brian Dean says EIU was 1-5 last season. Jacksonville State won the division with a 5-2 record. Did not know that. Thank you for that. Doc Graybeard. Appreciate you, Doc Graybeard. Interview request, Rob DeBoer, one of the toughest backs we've ever had. He played during a crazy time as well. Doc, believe it or not, I've had Rob DeBoer on the show. Actually have had Rob on. It was probably about 2 years ago, but I've had him on. But again, Doc, thank you, Doc. Appreciate you, Doc. Appreciate the love and support, Doc. Guys, if you do want to support the business, support the channel, support the content, you can do so through YouTube via Super Chat and Super Stickers. Doc, I've had him on the show, though, so maybe that could be a throwback interview. I'd rather just get Rob back on. I think he'd be willing to come back on for sure. So, but yeah, I did have Rob on. Incredible conversation, incredible interview. Really, really good dude. Had a lot of fun chatting with him the first time. So would definitely love to get him back on. So let's see. Scott Stamey says, I love Brad Long. Yeah, Brad Long's the man, dude. It legendary convo every time we chat with Brad Long. Justin Langford, a few bush lattes and the crate challenge is on. Nope. You cannot get me going with the crate challenge. No thanks. I'm good on that. I'm good on the crate challenge, folks. I'm good on the crate challenge. Week 0 TV schedule. We got Nebraska, Illinois at 1 o'clock. Hawaii, UCLA at 3:30. UConn, Fresno. And that game's on ESPN. Hawaii, Fresno State at, what does this say? 2. San Jose State and Southern Utah at, God, whoever posted this graphic, it's like so tiny you can't even see it. At 10. And then UTEP and New Mexico State at 9. So, hey, I'm just looking forward to there being any football on. Scott Stamey, yes. Mom has recovered well. Yes. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking for sure. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Running back Juju McDowell says he feels like the Gamecocks have the best running back room in the country. I mean, hey, I know a lot of fans in Columbia that would agree with him. A lot of fans that would agree with him. Again, guys, tuning into Shane Beamer's media availability in less than 5 minutes. UGA Go Dogs says, I disagree. Who would you say has the best running back room in the country? UGA Go Dogs. Would love to hear it. Brian Dean, Chris, can you get Lou Holtz on the show? I would love to have him on. It's kind of tough to get in touch with him. Still working on that. Still working on Lou Holtz. I would like to, though. I'd love to. Now, UGA Go Dogs, I know you're not saying Georgia has the best running back. Come on. Stop it. I don't care how biased you are. Stop it. Marshawn Lloyd says he's been, quote, full go, end quote, and not on any snap count since fall camp began. Said he's running and making cuts like he was before he tore his ACL a year ago, and that is fantastic news, folks. You'd love to hear that. Would love to hear that. Brian Dean, Chris, who do we mirror more, Oklahoma or Virginia Tech? I mean, right now, Virginia Tech. I mean, as far as like where the program is, probably Va Tech, yeah. I'd probably say Va Tech. Yeah, for sure. For sure would say Va Tech. I'm not saying Georgia has a bad running back room, but not better than South Carolina's, man. Not better than South Carolina's. Justin Martin says, Chris, who's your favorite second South Carolina team? Wofford, Furman, Coastal, or the Citadel? Newberry. Let's see. Juju McDowell and Marshawn Lloyd, he says, quote, This dude leaves me speechless. All I have to say is get your eyes and popcorn ready. We're ready. We're fired up. We're ready. Kickoff's just 11 days away, folks. 11 days. It's crazy, man. What did I tell you guys? You're going to blink. You're going to blink, and fall camp's going to be here. Then you're going to blink again, and it's going to be kickoff. And sure enough, kickoff is right around the corner. Right around the corner. So, can't wait, man. I will tell you this. I'm probably going to take this weekend, this Saturday, to relax, have a low-key day, watch football, because this will be the last low-key Saturday for any of us for the next 3.5 months or so. I mean, guys, you think about it. Hey, we're back to 5 podcasts per week next week, right? Guys, the Daily Crow's rocking and rolling 2 hours a day. I mean, when will we go back to an hour? I have no idea, genuinely no idea, because we're going to run this thing through basketball, through baseball, and I love it. I love every second of it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and get this Shane Beamer presser, if you will, up and running. It looks like the video just started. So we'll go. I feel like I haven't shared the screen in a long time. Let's see. Tab, audio. Boom. Okay. All right, so we are waiting here for Shane Beamer's media availability. Speaking of the media, Justin Langford says, let's get Chris Perry and Steven to do the crate challenge. How about we don't, Justin? How about we don't? Thomas Walker says, little discussed topic. Do you think we'll have better success on limiting kickoff returns? Seems like our kickers have had a tough time with touchbacks over the last few years. I mean, Thomas, I think we'll have to be improved all across special teams. I have to think so. With Shane Beamer, Pete Limbo, we're going to have one of the best, if not the most well-coached special teams unit in the entire country. So, yeah, I have to think it's going to be a plus for us this season, for sure. Let's see. Scott Stamey, yes, come tailgate. Please, please do, man. All are welcome. All Gamecocks. Please come tailgate. Please come tailgate for sure, my guy. Absolutely. Listen. All right. I'm not doing the crate challenge. I do not care what happens. I'm not doing something so stupid. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the crate challenge. Not doing the crate challenge, guys. Sorry. I'm not doing the crate challenge.
All right, we're ready for Coach Beamer.
Here we go. Beamer ball. Let's go.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate everybody coming out. Good to be here again today.
Let me know that you guys can hear it okay,
preseason
by the way.
camp last Saturday night with the scrimmage. Really proud of the way our guys worked all of August throughout the month, or through preseason camp. We wanted it to be physical, mentally, physical, toughness, all that stuff. Wanted the entire preseason to be physical, which it was, and really proud of the way that our guys attacked it and got better. I thought they showed a lot of physical toughness, showed a lot of mental toughness with the way they were able to battle through a lot of things in the month of August. And knock on wood, for the most part, injury-wise, we were fantastic, especially compared to previous seasons. And credit Luke Day and his program, and Clint Haggard in the training room, and then credit our players for being able to battle through bumps and bruises and stay healthy for the most part. We finished up everything with a scrimmage on Saturday night, went about 75 plays in the stadium, a little bit less. I think the week before we were 92, got 75 plays in, and was one of the better second scrimmages I've ever been around. Very clean, very efficient. We had SEC officials here. We had told them to enforce it just like a game, play clock, all that. We had zero, delay a game, penalties. Probably just jinxed myself for next week, but we had 0 delay of game penalties. I thought they handled that really well. Had a weather delay, had lightning. We had to leave the field for about 45 minutes. That was great practice for us. If we ever get that during a season, we were able to go into the locker room, treat it like a normal weather delay, treat it like kind of a halftime in a lot of ways. So it was great practice for the coaches, how we would handle that. Great practice for the players. There wasn't a lot of goofing off and BSing in the locker room. There was great focus, and then they came right back out and had about another 55, 60 plays to finish up the scrimmage after the weather delay. It was fantastic. Really proud of them, and came out of it healthy, for the most part as well. That was good. We gave them off Sunday. Just met on Sunday. We didn't do anything physically. Yesterday was their mandatory day off required by the NCAA, so they've had 2 days off physically before we got back out on the practice field today. Sunday was just meetings, reviewing the scrimmage, and then kind of getting ready for this week. This week for us is a mock game week, so to speak. So we're going through everything just like we will next week when we do it for real against Eastern Illinois. So we had our normal meetings on Sunday. We'll take Monday off during the season, or the players will, obviously. That's their day off. And then we came in today with meeting times, just like they'll be on a Tuesday during season. Practice schedule is identical to what it'll be on a Tuesday during the season. And then we'll do the same thing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up until Saturday. Saturday will be more of a, we're not scrimmaging, but it'll just be a situational type practice where we're going to go through every possible scenario you can envision happening in a football game, make sure we cover it, and in the stadium on Saturday night, go through pregame warm-up routines, all that stuff. Because, we are the one sport in all of the world that doesn't get a preseason game or a scrimmage or an exhibition. Some of you guys that covered me know I went off on this rant back when I was an assistant coach before here, out on the old Proving Grounds practice field, and I still feel the same way 10, 11, 12 years later. It makes too much sense to not be able to go scrimmage another team before we play, to have an exhibition game against another team, because every other sport gets to do it. High school, pro, college, every sport. I'm not complaining. It is what it is, but it's tough because the first time we do it, it's for real. So that's why we're doing a mock game week this week, for the coaches to be able to work out any kinks, to make sure the schedule that we go through daily flows the way that we need it to flow, to make sure we're able to get them out of here at noon and to class on time. For the players, so they understand what a Tuesday practice is going to be like, what a Wednesday practice is going to be like, Thursday, Friday, and so on. So it's not new next week when we do it. So proud of the way our guys have handled it so far, and then can't wait for next week. Obviously, we got a lot of work to do as a team before next Saturday night, but cannot wait to get into Williams-Brice Stadium, packed Williams-Brice Stadium, for all of our fans to be able to come back together after everything that everyone has been through for the last year. I can't wait to see the cockpit down there in the end zone in the student section. Had a blast talking to our student body on the horseshoe last week, and fired up for what they're going to bring to our environment next Saturday night, and can't wait for that thing to be rocking and cranked up on Saturday night, and eager to continue to finish up this week as a team and get into next week. So with that, be glad to take any questions.
Hey, Shane, have you named a starting quarterback?
We have not, David. That didn't take you long. No, we haven't. Couple things on that. Luke just got his cast off on Sunday. So, I don't think we're not going to name a quarterback until we see what his situation is. He got his cast off on Sunday. He's in a boot right now. I talked to him before practice. He's able to take the boot off and move around a little bit, but when he's out on the field, he's got the boot on. Feels good. We'll keep progressing him along and see where he is. So that's one situation we're still working through. With the other guys that are competing, frankly, Zeb had a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice last week and a scrimmage, so he's really only been playing quarterback for obviously a week. So give him today, tomorrow, Thursday will be critical practices, and then I think we'll have a better idea how that thing's going to shake out here towards the end of the week once we get through these next few practices with our current quarterbacks, and then once we see what Luke's situation is also.
I was about to say, do you have a drop-dead date that you know that we got to have a guy by this time?
I mean, you'd love to go into next week where everybody knows who the quarterback is, where we can rally around that guy and he starts getting those reps with the first group and things like that as well. But, I mean, all those guys, Luke before he got injured, Jason, Zeb now, I mean, they've all gotten plenty of work with that first group, with that second group, and whoever it is. I mean, we've got confidence whoever takes the first snap out there next Saturday night to go perform and lead us. So from that standpoint, yes, sooner the better. But at the same time, all those guys are ready to play, whoever it is.
Shane, how have you seen just Zeb being able to step into a situation, a guy that maybe a couple months ago, as he alluded to before after Sam Houston, didn't think he was going to probably play football ever again. How quickly has he been able to pick things up, and how impressive has he looked so far for a guy based in the situation that he's in?
Yeah, I think he's been fantastic. I really do. He's a coach's son, so he's been around the game. I've known, his dad and his family for a long time. He was a guy that I can remember when we were trying to, I don't want to say recruit, when we were talking to him about becoming a graduate assistant here. I remember the very first time that Coach Satterfield talked to Zeb on the phone. Sat came to me, he's like, that guy might be the smartest quarterback I've ever talked to in my entire life. He's so brilliant. Some of the things that this is when he was at North Dakota State, and it was kind of an interview, so to speak, to make sure that Sat felt good about him. And Sat was like, golly, I mean, he would help us right now as an offensive staff, just his knowledge of pass protections and route concepts and all that stuff. So it's no surprise from a mental standpoint that he's been able to pick stuff up. I mean, he was in our staff meetings a week and a half ago in the offensive coaching meetings. I think the biggest thing that's a testament to Zeb and what kind of leader he is the way that he's been able to get the players to rally around him as well. And before I told the team what we were doing, I met with some of the defensive players in my office privately, and then I met with some of the offensive guys, and we talked about it, and they were great because they know what Zeb is. And, he's an easy guy to like. He's an easy guy to rally around. He told me this. I hope it's accurate. I don't think he lied to me. I guess he was a captain at North Dakota State when he was the backup quarterback, which you don't hear a lot of. I mean, that's pretty dang impressive for your teammates to feel that way about you. And then at the same time, he's been, he was living the coach's life where the workouts and all that stuff ain't quite what our guys were doing before he started playing. So to go from that to right out there on the field, I mean, there's going to be some rust and things like that for sure, and you certainly see it. But the arm talent, the knowledge, being able to get us in the right protection, get the ball to the right person, that's been very impressive and will only continue to get better, along with what Jason Brown has done. Jason Brown had the best week of practice he's had as a Gamecock last week. I mean, Zeb being out there has really pushed Jason, and I would say the same about Colton as well. Both those guys had really, really, really good weeks as well out there on the practice field. So I'm pleased with where we are from a quarterback position right now and continuing to get better like all the positions.
Okay, I have two questions. My first question is about Juju McDowell. I want to know what capacity are you expecting to play him at right now, and then I'll do my second one after that one.
What capacity?
Like, what capacity are you expecting to play him this season? With all we've heard a lot about him. So, like, what do you see him contributing?
Is a lot a good answer?
It's a great answer.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, he's going to play a lot from a capacity standpoint. He may end up being our kick returner. He's certainly going to be in there a lot on offense. He's explosive. I saw some of you did the tandem with the Marshawn and Juju up here together, I see. So I saw some of their coach before I came in and about how explosive he is, and he is. He's smart. He's tough. He's still a freshman, don't get me wrong, but he's got a huge upside. He's explosive, and he can be a weapon in the passing game as well. He's got great hands, really good ball skills, so we're excited about him.
Okay, and then with injuries, did anyone get hurt at the scrimmage this past Saturday? And then I have a list of people that I just wanted to ask about, like Kevin Harris, Trey Atkins, Rick Sandage, Cam Smith. Just where are all those guys?
Yep, I'm sorry. I should have run through that before we started. No one got hurt in the scrimmage that would be long-term, that we don't expect anything to keep them out next Saturday. We talked about Luke. E.J. Jenkins is back out practicing. He was out there today, in a helmet and rolling. Kevin Harris is getting closer and closer. We're optimistic about him being able to play next week. Darrell Ware's out right now. We're optimistic about him. Cam Smith is still out, but he has a chance to potentially play next week. And then, like I told you guys before, Rick Sandage is the one that may be out a little bit longer, but he's not far off.
Trey Adkins.
Trey is still out too. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Hey, Shane, I want to go back to Zeb for a second. In addition to his experience and his overall knowledge of the game, how much is he being helped that he's coming off a spring season and played pretty recently?
Yeah, great point, Rick. I think that's huge, and that's the first thing I told when I told the team what we were doing. I showed some clips of him playing at Iowa State, going up against Kyler Murray, but then we also talked about, I showed some clips of him playing in the spring, that here is Zeb in a playoff game the same time you guys were, I think, playing the Garnet and Black game. I think it was the same weekend that he had a playoff game. So we were practicing against each other. He was playing in a playoff game at the college level. So certainly I think it would be maybe a different story if he had played last fall and then had been sitting around doing nothing since December. We may be having a different conversation right now because I don't know how far along he would be physically. But the fact that it wasn't that long ago that he was playing a game certainly is very helpful and is an advantage to us right now. And we told the team that, and it's true.
Shane, with Kevin, obviously he did what he did last year, but considering he hasn't practiced at all in preseason, is it, kind of not, I don't think panic's the right word, but is it like, okay, maybe now's the time that you want to have an answer of like he's going to be back by this date?
Yeah, I mean, we got a pretty good idea of when he, is going to be ready, and we're optimistic that it's next week. And if he's just not able to go next week and he's not 100%, then we surely expect him to be ready for the following week. He was in full uniform today. He's running around. He's doing everything. It's just, he met again last week with the doctors that did the procedure on him last week, and it was a great response, great feedback, and we're continuing to talk to Kevin and his mom and all the medical personnel, and we're not discouraged or anything with where he is right now. We knew when he had the procedure this summer that it would be right around the first game that he'd be ready to go, and that hasn't changed. He's got a great spirit about himself, and we know he's going to be carrying the football for us a lot this year, and a lot starting in September. And whether that's September 4th or September 11th remains to be seen, but he's not far off at all, and there's no concern or panic or anything from our standpoint. I mean, he's doing a lot of running with our strength staff to stay in shape, and obviously I'm not naive. He's got to be able to get out there and get some live action in practice and knock the rust off and things like that, but he's doing as much of that as he can without actually practicing full speed right now.
During Zeb's interview process, was there any mention of him playing? Did he say, he still had an itch, or did y'all think he was transitioned?
No, I thought he was transitioning. His dad reached out to me, I talked Zeb. I was still at Oklahoma, and Zeb transferred to North Dakota State. And back when I was at Oklahoma, Zeb reached out, between his dad and Zeb reached out to me to say that he wanted to get into coaching. This was when I was still at Oklahoma. So then when I came to South Carolina, they reached back out. I knew, he's from Athens and knew what he was about, thought he'd be a fantastic graduate assistant. It never came up in my conversations with him. It was, I'm done. I didn't even ask. I didn't even think about COVID years and all that stuff. So he came in here, got rolling, got to work, and then there was one day in, I don't know, it was probably late June, early July, and Sat mentioned, you do know that Zeb has some eligibility left if we need it, and it kind of hit me then, but it wasn't anything that we talked about during the interview process, and it was something that we joked around with him back and forth throughout the month of July, and then obviously it became very real once Luke got hurt. But it wasn't hey, come to South Carolina, start being a GA, and then get ready to play some quarterback too. That wasn't the reason we hired him.
And on quarterback play in general, is there a philosophy? Do you have a philosophy about the position that can be summed up in a couple of sentences or a paragraph in terms of how you tell them you want to them to operate the game?
Yeah, I think there's a lot, and when you guys talk to, Coach Satt and Coach White as far as what they want at their positions. But, for me, I think accuracy is critical. You got to have a guy back there. You got to have a great leader. You got to be tough. And then nowadays you got to have great athleticism that you play. Those would be the things that, I'm looking for. But toughness, leadership, athleticism. But I don't care what you have. If you're not accurate, you're going to have a hard time being successful as a quarterback. That's just how I look at it. And then you got to protect the football, and whoever goes out there for the first snap on September 4th is going to be the person that does a lot of well, but they've got to protect the football. And frankly, we've had way too many turnovers in the month of August of not always making great decisions with the football. And they've got all those quarterbacks, Zeb, Colton, Connor, Luke, Jason, the whole crew. They know that they've got to be better from a ball security, making good decisions, and let's just line up and make the defense keep defending us.
Shane, not counting injuries or COVID concerns, what's your single biggest concern about the squad going into the opener right now?
Good question, Gene. Probably, I don't know if it's a concern, but we've got a lot of new faces that have never played, like every program right now. But, we've got, starters that guys that are probably going to start for us that last year at this time were playing at Georgia Military or playing at wherever, Assumption College and different places. No disrespect, Mike. But it's a different deal when you're playing in front of 85,000 people. So I don't think it's any different than any other year. You always have new faces anywhere that I've been, Oklahoma, Georgia, Virginia Tech. For me, as a coach, there's always more anxiety is not the word, but there's always more uncertainty for the first game of the season because you think you have an idea of what your team's about, but that's based off 20-some practices of practicing against yourself and not another opponent until you go out there next Saturday night. So for me, it's just the uncertainty. It's the first time that we're going out there, for real, which our guys are excited and I can't wait. But that's always a game one. That's whether I was at Oklahoma getting ready to play FAU in our first game or Georgia getting ready to play App State or whoever it may be. That's just game ones in my opinion.
Couple of things for you. I'm curious about how this thing with Zeb works as far as coming off of graduate assistant role. Does he get a stipend for being a graduate assistant? Does he have to give that back? Is he going on scholarship? How does all of that process work?
Yeah, it's be honest with you, it's complicated, and thankfully there's a lot of people a lot smarter than me that are figuring all that stuff out. And I'm not trying to dodge the question. It is different. It's not like you just roll right into being student athlete from being a graduate assistant. I've gotten some calls from some other head coaches across the country that were calling and asking me about the specifics of how we did it because they had a couple things they were looking into doing something similar and stuff like that as well. So George Wynn, our director of football operations, and Jeff Whitehead in compliance, and those guys, they've been in constant communication, working that out, and still trying to work through everything from that standpoint. We're fine what we're doing, but there's a lot of T's that got to be crossed and I's that got to be dotted to get him ready to roll.
Gotcha. And kind of the opposite of Gene's question, what are you most confident about going where you stand right now? What are you most sure of in terms of going into the season?
That our guys will go out there next Saturday night and play with unbelievable passion and energy and joy next Saturday night in Williams-Brice Stadium.
Shane, just in our brief interaction here with Zeb, it seems like he's a really mature kid and has handled this well. Just from your side of things, how has he handled this whole thing? It's obviously a lot being thrown at him all at once, and what's kind of gone into that process in terms of him, making that shift? No, he's been great. Really just mature. He's got such an easy demeanor about him. He's very, as you guys probably saw in here, he's just very cool and collected. And in scrimmages, just like I was during the spring game, I stand out there because
just to be behind, and I'm in charge of the whistle when they get around the quarterback because we don't let the quarterbacks get hit in practice, and I'm the bad guy that blows the whistle, or the offensive line thought he was sacked, or the defense got him sacked and all that stuff. So I'm the bad guy back there. But just listening to him out there, I mean, even with me, it was kind of like he was just having like an ongoing conversation in the middle of a 75-play scrimmage. You know, he would make a throw and tell me, like, as he got back in the huddle, he'd tell me something that he saw, why he did it, or I should have done this better, or I should have done that better. Talking to the referee. We had a substitution issue where they stopped. The referee blew the whistle, and Zeb turned to the head referee and asked about, can we reset the play clock there? I mean, just stuff like that blows me away. Because he is just so calm and collected, but he's experienced. I mean, he's 24, I think. I think he's younger than one player on our team and the same age as another one, but he's got a maturity about him, and there's not much that can get thrown at him on the field that he hasn't seen either at Iowa State or North Dakota State. And it's a security blanket's not the word, but it's a very calming presence when he's out there on the field, not just with the coaching staff, but with all the guys.
I got two for you. The scrimmage on Saturday, how would you say the coaches did in terms of running the team? Were you up in the box? Was it game-like? And secondly, Eastern Illinois plays on Saturday. What will be y'all's plans for watching that? And do you see that as an advantage for them having a game under their belt before they come here?
Yeah. Coaches-wise on Saturday, I thought it was good. We did it offensively was exactly like a game. Sat was in the box. We did the communication, calling the play in, and that's why I was excited about the fact that we had no delay of game penalties, and it was very clean and very efficient because we wanted to make sure that we were good to go doing that, and those guys were great. The defense, they tried to do it like a game, but they didn't have all their guys in the box. I think Toria may be in the press box on game days. He was down on the field, but we had headphones on, the sideline communication, getting the plays in and out, offense and defense. We did it just like a game, so I was very pleased from that standpoint. And then, yeah, it's a great advantage. I'm sure Eastern Illinois, there's an old analogy, and I'll use it after the Eastern Illinois game, that you make your most improvement from game 1 to game 2. That's kind of like coach speak. You have to say it, but it's true. My dad said it all those years, but I believe it. You do make your most improvement from game 1 from game 1 to game 2. So from Eastern Illinois' standpoint, I'm sure they feel like that's an advantage. They get a game under their belt. Then they have a week to prepare for us after they've been preparing for us all season, and then come in here. For us, it's an advantage that, and for them to be able to do that, we had to okay it from our standpoint back in the springtime, and we were fine for that because from our standpoint, we liked the idea of, being able to watch them on tape, actually having already played a game, and any new personnel they have from the spring. Or from last season, we'll have a chance to see that. Any tweaks they've made over the summer, not that they're going to show everything, but we'll have a general idea about their personnel. We're not looking at something from last year. We're looking at something from today or yesterday.
Shane, from a mentality and competition standpoint, what has stuck out to you and the offensive staff most about Jaheim Bell at tight end, and how much of a factor is that guy going to be in your offense this year?
Yeah, he's just a fierce competitor. He's worked really hard to improve his run blocking, pass protection, kind of everything part of his game. We talked about it after the spring that he's a playmaker for us, one of the top playmakers on offense, and excited to see what he can do. He's out there battling Nick Muse, and Nick's kind of the unheralded guy that people don't talk about enough, in my opinion. I mean, Nick is fantastic, and I told him that the other day that we're not ever going to take him for granted. I mean, just the more and more you watch him, just talking about Nick, is the way his ability to run routes, release, run game, pass protection. Nick's been fantastic. Jaheim and him are going to be a good complement to each other, but, love Jaheim's toughness and physicality and competitive spirit for sure.
Hey, Shane, the last couple of years, the Gamecocks have had starting wide receivers volunteer to work as punt gunners. How far into it are you as far as determining some of those types of special teams roles at this point?
Very. There's not much volunteering going on. I mean, we're kind of telling them who's doing what. No, we're far. I mean, we've been doing that all preseason, and obviously we kind of got to narrow down a little bit who's doing what. Obviously next week, so we're trying to do that right now. But we've had a group of gunners on the punt team that have been working as gunners back to spring practice, and we spent a lot of time on special teams in practice and breaking it up into different groups and positions, so to speak, the gunners being one of them. And they've been working since the springtime. Wide receivers are in that, defensive backs are in that, and got a good group of guys, without a doubt, and at all positions. So that's something we've been training guys and trying to develop guys for special teams roles since the springtime, and now's the time that we're really getting narrowed down and honing in on who are going to be those top guys at those positions. And but to talk about the receivers, I mean, I think I've said it before. We did a special teams player of the day back during spring practice, and of our 15 practices, something like 10 or 11 or 12 of those days, a wide receiver was the special teams player of the day. Whether it be Josh Vann, DeCarrion Joyner, Jalen Brooks. DeCarrion was our special teams player of the spring, I believe. So those guys have been fantastic from a special teams standpoint.
Hey, Shane, just wanted to clarify something about the quarterback situation. If Luke's injury was not optimistic, that if there wasn't a chance he could be back week 1, would y'all have been close to naming a starter? Were there any guys in that competition that were starting to separate themselves? And I guess does Luke's possibility of coming back week 1 muddy those waters a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we want to see if Luke's going to be available for one, but even if we knew that Luke was going to be out till October, we probably wouldn't have named one yet. I mean, if you name one now, you're basing it off of 4 days of practice for Zeb, and we want to see Jason continue to come along, Colton can continue to come along, Connor, and Zeb as well. So we'll give Zeb last week, and then he's got this week of practice, and then we'll kind of see where we are.
Shane, 2 questions. From a Luke perspective, how much time do you think he'll need once the boot's off and he's back into practice to really ramp up to in-game shape and comfortability in this offense?
I don't think too long. I mean, I kid him. He's moving faster on that scooter than a lot of our guys move without a scooter. I mean, he's buzzing up and down the halls. Like, it's pretty impressive how fast he moves. Like, you see him out there on the practice field. If the quarterbacks are going from one drill to the other, he's with them, and he usually beats the quarterbacks to the next drill, and he's on a scooter. So I don't worry about Luke. He's a fierce competitor, and obviously there's going to be some rust you have to knock off and things like that. But I don't think super long.
You mentioned a lot of turnovers from an offensive perspective. Defensively, is that something you guys enforce or preach, and how much of that can be taught in practice, or does it come up kind of naturally in a game?
That's a great question. We emphasize it a lot, protecting the football offensively, getting the ball out defensively. In our team meetings at the beginning of each day, we talk about the turnovers from the day before, who created them on defense. We throw their pictures up in front of the team and recognize guys when they force fumbles or get interceptions. We work a lot. Some of those periods that you guys have been out to watch practice this preseason, you saw us doing a lot of ball security and turnover drills where we're teaching how to protect the football, doing it against the defense, good on good. So we spent a ton of time working on turnovers. But I think it's a lot of that it goes back to the weight room and the strength and the size and the physicality and the speed that we're trying to develop to knock the ball out, defensively. But I think you can be careful. We were at Oklahoma and we hired Alex Grinch as our defensive coordinator, and Alex came in and made a big deal about turnovers, and it seems like forever we couldn't get any turnovers on defense, and it kind of got to be a thing like, are you practicing it too much? Are you talking about it too much? And then all of a sudden, they just came in waves. So our credit our defense for forcing a lot of turnovers for one, and then the offense. It's not just the quarterbacks; it's the ball carriers as well. But we've got to do a better job of protecting the football, and they have. In the scrimmage the other night, I think there was, in 75 plays, there was 1 interception and there was 1 fumble. And, that's not good from an offensive standpoint. We don't want to have any, but turnovers are going to happen. And it's kind of the balancing act as a head coach. You want to see them defensively. You don't want to see them offensively. But, 2 for a 75-play scrimmage is about right.
Last question is
Shane, you mentioned Zeb being a coach's kid. Obviously, you're a coach's kid. Marcus is a coach's kid. I mean, just why does that experience help? Why is it different? Why do you think it's maybe helped Zeb in this situation? And I guess just what is that experience like, I guess?
Yeah, good question. I think it's just you're around the game so much. Be a good question for Mike behind you. I mean, it's you're around the game so much. You kind of grow up in locker rooms. You're able to talk X's and O's probably at a young age with your dad. You have a pretty good understanding of stuff because you've grown up around the game. And when you leave, the high school or wherever, you go home and then your dad's still there and you're probably still talking football at night and things like that. So I think that's just the biggest thing. It's just you're kind of wise beyond your years, if that makes sense. I mean, when I was interviewing for jobs or interviewed for this job, I mean, I talked about, this is my 20 whatever year in coaching, but I feel like I've been around coaching for 40 some years, which I have been. So I think that's the biggest thing is just the experience from that, without a doubt. And then, John, I've got the terrible news that you were transitioning out of the profession, so just wanted to congratulate you and thank you for all your work over the years covering Carolina football, and wish you well going forward, my man, too. Yep, you got it. I was worried about some crate questions, so I brought my wife in here so y'all ease up on me. So thank you, guys. Have a good week.
Okay, sorry. Anyways, got about 10 minutes left. Probably the biggest takeaway from that is, I from the way Shane Beamer talks about Zeb Noland, and I tweeted this out just a little bit ago, I would be pretty surprised if he's not your starter week 1. And, so I know that's crazy. That obviously sounds crazy. I would have never thought it. But I think Zeb Noland, again, like we've been hearing, man, the momentum all points to Zeb Noland getting the starting nod week 1. So I think they're holding out hope that Luke Doty can go. I think realistically, though, will he be able to go? Probably not. And if he can't, it sounds like Zeb Noland is going to get the start. Yeah, guys, apologize on the audio there. When you share your screen and share your audio on another screen, it mutes your mic automatically, so I just forgot to unmute that there. But, yes, Polo was fresh, by the way. Polo was fresh. That's funny what he said about the crate questions at the end. Yeah, definitely sounds like Zeb's going to start. The other thing that really, really stood out to me, and something that Shane Beamer echoed that I've said, and, I mean, he said it almost verbatim, is the question, I don't know if you guys caught this, when he was asked about what's your biggest concern for your football team? What are you most worried about going into the season for your football team? And I feel like he literally reiterated what I've said, just in a different way. But he talked about, we have a lot of guys that are starting for us, that are going to play meaningful snaps, that have never played at this level. He mentioned Georgia Military. He mentioned Assumption College. So what he was saying, so again, he didn't say it quite the way I said it, but what he was saying was, and I've said this before, my biggest concern probably this season is the amount of guys you are depending on that are coming from lower level schools. I mean, just call it for what it is. That doesn't mean they're not going to be good football players, but just the sheer amount of guys you are depending on that have never taken a snap at the SEC level, and guess what? Didn't get recruited to go to the SEC level. I can see how that's concerning. That's exactly why I said it. So I thought that was very, very telling. Again, it doesn't mean these guys aren't going to be good football players. It doesn't mean they may not turn into great players, but when you're depending on that many of them, yeah, I think it's a little concerning. I think you're just kind of sort of on the edge of your seat, like, okay, what type of players are these guys going to be for us? You know what I mean? What type of guys are they going to be for us? So 843-790-3377. By the way, guys, who was, let's see, let me go back here. Let's see, it was, where'd you go? Where's the questions at? Oh, Jen Lee, by the way. Jen Lee was texting, and Jen, I don't know if you thought that was Shane Beamer's number, but it was not. You were texting me, so that's why I wasn't texting you back, by the way, Jen Lee. I do read off all the questions. I do respond, but yeah, that's why I was not replying to you, because you were asking about, like, Dak Joyner and why he's not playing quarterback, and you wanted Shane Beamer to answer. Well, I'm not Shane Beamer, and I was going to wait until the end to take all of the questions. Donnie Walkoff says, usually when a good program takes a risk on guys like that, they aren't depending on them, and in this case, depending on several. A little worrisome. I agree. I agree with you 110%. I agree. It's one of those things where, you know, again, I'm not sitting here saying, you know, if you played at Wingate or Assumption or St. Francis, you can't be a good football player at this level. But most of the time in football, if you don't get recruited to go SEC the first go around, like, there's a reason you didn't. It's not like baseball where there's a bunch of parity and whatever. So, like I said, I agree with Shane Beamer. That's all I'm saying. I agree with Shane Beamer. It is worrisome. It makes you sweat a little bit when you think about the amount of guys that Sal Khan is depending on that are coming from lower level schools. Donnie Walkoff says, what are the odds they're all home runs? Well, the odds that they're all home runs, Donnie, is 0 in my mind. There's going to be at least one of them. That that is not fit for this level. Just call it for what it is. I mean, there's going to be at least one. So, yeah, going to be at least one for sure. So, kind of wild that he mentioned Assumption College, like, very directly. Like, geez. Hopefully that's not a bad sign. Let's see. Joshua Jenkins, I know this is kind of unpredictable, but if you had to say what overall Zeb would be in NCAA 14, what would he be? God, see, that's almost impossible. I mean, I've seen one game of his film at Iowa State and a little bit of his highlights from North Dakota State. I mean, he'd probably be in the 70s. Yeah, he'd probably be like mid-70s, I would say. So, Justin Warren, our quarterback room is definitely hurting if Zeb starts. Again, I don't think hurting's the right word. Our quarterback room has no experience at all on the Power 5 level, and Colton Gauthier's got down on the college level, and Connor Jordan's a walk-on. So, I mean, it's the tallest midget contest. You know what I mean? Like, it's not – I mean, I don't think that, you know, our quarterback room is just very inexperienced. I mean, you know, maybe that was a little harsh what I said, but I mean, you know, they're just very inexperienced. I mean, that's all you can say. I mean, Jason Brown, he's coming from St. Francis, dude. He's never played on this level. There's no proof he can play on this level. So at least Zeb Nolan has played on this level. And again, guys, trust me, it feels crazy to me because I think I said this literally last week, almost a week ago to the date, that I was like, there's no way Zeb Nolan ever touches the field. Like, I really thought there was no way he touched the field. Sean O'Brien, as long as Zeb is serviceable in week 1, Doty's back week 2, we should be fine. Exactly. See, that's the thing, guys. This quarterback conversation, obviously, it's taken over, and like I said, we're having a good old time, like, debating and breaking it down. But in the grand scheme of this season, it doesn't really matter, because Luke Doty is this team's starting quarterback and will be back by week 2. So it really doesn't matter in my mind. I don't care who you play week 1. You're going to go beat EIU either way. So, like, who cares? I mean, really, who cares at the end of the day? Bullish says, watch Zeb highlights. He about to be neck and neck with Colin Hill. Jason Brown, in my opinion, has a higher ceiling to me. Based off of what, Bullish? Based off what? Yeah, Travi, Zeb has the Power 5 experience. Period. That's it. Luke RJ says those lower level players were the best players at their lower levels, though, so it doesn't mean they won't be good. Carlin Splittell talked about how there is usually one or two players in each team to go up against in practice and in games. That helps their development, but in the SEC, every player is good. Luke RJ, again, I hear what you're saying. I'm not trying to sit here and say that none of those guys are going to be good. I mean, they better be. We got a lot of them we're depending on. But, again, for the most part in football, if you go to an FCS school at a high school, and there's a reason, bro. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason. I'm not sitting here saying that, a good portion of them are not going to be good. But when you are depending on the amount that we are, it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. So, Tyler Knoll, I've heard good things about Carlin Splittell and Marcellus Dial, both of whom played at two schools he mentioned. Well, Tyler Knoll, do you think Shane Beamer will come out and say they sucked? I mean, do you think he'd come out and say that realistically? I don't think he would. Everybody's good in fall camp, right? Everybody's good in fall camp. So, and again, I'm not trying to but Shane Beamer literally echoed it. He echoed what I've said, is that, when you have this many guys coming from schools where they've never played in the SEC, it's concerning. It is a little concerning. How are they going to adjust? Hey, Debo Williams, for example, heard good things about him, but Debo Williams, this ain't Delaware. This is the SEC. It's a different game, man. It's a different game. Carlin Splittell, in his media availability weeks ago, was asked, what's the difference between D2 and the SEC? He says, I don't think there's much difference at all. No, Carlins, there is a difference, and you're going to find out about it really, really quick. Really fast. Really fast. I mean, if I'm a Georgia receiver, I'm coming for Carlin Splittell neck, dude. I'm going to let him know, hey, this is the SEC. You can stay your ass on the ground. I mean, obviously I don't want that to happen, but you say something like that, you better be able to back it up. That's all I know. You better be able to back it up. Even a guy like E.J. Jenkins. How does a guy that's 6'7.5" go to an FCS school? There had to be some reason. Again, I'm not trying to talk down on our players. I'm just saying it is concerning when you're depending on that many guys. There's no way all of them pan out, guys. I hate to tell you. There's going to be some of them. This level's going to be too much. Flat out. This level's just going to be too much. Or they're going to play, but they're not going to be all SEC caliber players or anything. So just, again, keep the expectations realistic when you're talking about these guys that are coming from these smaller schools. And, I mean, listen, if here's the funny thing, Gamecock fans, some of you in here, you may not want to admit it, but if Clemson was doing this, if Georgia was doing this, y'all be saying the same thing about them. Wow, y'all are dependent on them? Okay. So, and I see the comments, Tyler Knoll, others, maybe it's the grades. Maybe these guys didn't qualify grade-wise, under-recruited. I hope you're right. I hope they're all Americans. But just, you have to admit it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning when you get into SEC play. Again, you're still going to kick EIU's ass. I think you're still going to beat East Carolina. I picked you to win that game, even though I say it's going to be a really close game. Rel garnishes the level of exposure from their high school. Man, if you're a good player, they find you. They will find you. They will find, again, whatever. I guess you guys aren't ready for that conversation. Is what it is. Hey, great show today. Great show today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in yet again, guys. Like I said, quick reminder, podcast, of course, dropped yesterday. Live show at Tin Roof tomorrow. Brad Lawing joining me. Of course, we're live here each and every single day, noon to 2, Monday through Friday. If this is your first time tuning in, guys, thank you all so much for the continued love and support. Thank you for tuning in. Again, stay tuned to all the content rocking and rolling today. Really fun watching Shane Beamer's media availabilities. We now sit just 11 days away from kickoff. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Appreciate the love and support. We will talk to you tomorrow, guys. Take care.